Hello everyone, welcome to another video from Develop. Today we'll understand what is Async and Await in C Sharp. When you search this in Google, you'll get a lot of answers. So if you see here, this is a Microsoft site which says Async keyword turns a method into an async method which allows you to use the await keyword in its body. When await keyword is applied, it suspends the calling method and yields control back to its caller until the awaited task is complete. This is as simple as it is, right? But it becomes very confusing sometimes. When we say it is not blocking, then when we use the await keyword, how does the execution stop? Or does the execution stop? Then how is it asynchronous? So today we'll address all this confusion. We'll take simple examples and try to understand. So here I have a simple console application which has a main method. So here we have a simple console application which has a main method, and I have created a simple class called demo, and I'll add methods to this. So here we have a method called getSquare which will give us the square. So let's first say that console.writeLine entered into getSquare method, right? So that we understand that we have entered here, and then let's say it will return the value of n into n, right? Let's go back to the main method and then call the method from the demo class. So we'll just create an object, demo is equal to new demo, and then we'll do demo dot get square, and we'll pass 5 to it, right? And we'll store this in a variable called result, okay, res, just for simplicity. And then we are doing console.writeLine. Let's say we'll do just a simple statement which says end of main method, okay. Now when we run this, we'll see what happens. Entered into get square because this method is called entered into get square, and then end of main, right? Now let's do one thing. Let's say we want to call this asynchronously. When we say we want to call this asynchronously, what we mean is, here you can see before it went into get square, it did not print this line, right? This line was only printed before, after it entered into get square, right? So when we use asynchronous, suppose if you want to call get square asynchronously, then what will happen? Get square will be called, but the execution will simply come here and will not wait for get square to complete. But in this case, since it is synchronous, it is waiting for get square to be completed and then this line is executed. So if we make this, get square as an asynchronous method, say asynchronous, and if you have an asynchronous method, it should return a type of task, right? If you make this as an asynchronous method, then this particular call will go to get square. Let it take some time. For example, it is taking 5 seconds. So how we'll make sure of that? We'll simply say task dot there is task dot delay 5 seconds. So if you do this, it will be a delay of 5 seconds. I'll come to the await part later, but here we have a delay of 5 seconds, and here what we are expecting is whenever this method is called, since this get square is asynchronous, we should not wait for it and the control should come to the next line. So it is all about the control. So suppose you can say, imagine a scenario where you have some input output blocking operation or some database related thing which is taking long time, and you make it as async. Then what happens is you make, you call that async method like we are calling it here, then do your other tasks in the next lines. Maybe you're calling some other methods also, getting data from other methods also. Do that, and then whenever you need the, you know you need the result of that method, because since you have, made it to run asynchronously, but you also have to, you need the result at some point of time. So after you have completed your tasks in between and now you need the result, simply wait for it, right? Simply wait for it. So now what happens is this method is called, it will, run asynchronously. Then end of main, this line will be there. Then when we need whatever was there in this method, whatever had to happen in this method, when we need it, we'll use it here. Let's see this in action. You see here, end of main is called. Then we have entered into get square and we have 25. So basically, whenever you are calling this method, the controller, or rather, the control is shifted to the next line. So we are not waiting for this until unless we say wait. When we say wait, it waits. But one very interesting thing that we miss all the time is, suppose here we are waiting. So you may say that the 5-second delay happened here, right? Then is it blocked? No. What is not blocked? The one who is calling this method, main method, which is the runtime in this scenario, the runtime can, if it has any other tasks after this, after calling the main method, if it wants, to run other tasks, it can do that. So when it encounters await, for example, here we have await, then this get square method, whoever called this get square method here is free to run the next lines of code. That means we are not blocking it. So this is very useful in UI scenarios. Suppose you have a UI scenario, you say that get square, run this asynchronous method. Then what happens? The asynchronous method is running at the same time the execution happens here. So that is why the UI is not blocked. So that is why whenever you see async await, you see a lot of examples related to the UI. But the very bottom line that we need to understand and need to keep in mind is, whenever async and await is used, whenever await is encountered, the caller is free to do other tasks, whoever is calling it. So this is kind of hierarchy that will go on, right? So if here, if the await is encountered, then main method will be free to run the other lines of code. And here again await is encountered, then the one which is calling the main method, which is the runtime in this case, is free to do other tasks, or rather run the next lines of code. This is not, this is one more thing that we need to notice here is, this is not, we cannot say that some other thread is running this particular thing. That is completely different topic. It may happen that another thread is running this asynchronous method, but it may not happen. The thread pool handles this. The thread pool within itself handles this. The main goal of async and await is it will not block the caller from running the next line, from executing the next lines. I hope I was able to explain this topic, and if you have any doubts or questions, please feel free to get back and we can discuss on this together. Thank you so much for listening. See you soon. Thank you.